Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Paper Crafts, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in central Scotland. Welcome to August's Stamp Around UK video hop. This is a monthly video hop where myself and some other UK Stampin' Up demonstrators have gotten together, and we bring you a monthly video hop with a different theme each month. So please do have a look in the description bar below, because there are links to all my friends' videos underneath there, and I'm quite sure you won't be disappointed. I'm excited to see what everybody's made as well. We don't get to see each other's projects or each other's videos before the hop goes live, and this will be going live at 6 PM on the 1st of August, so that's when I get to see everybody else's projects as well. So it's always a secret right up until then, and it's a nice surprise, but I really don't think you'll be disappointed. So please do pay them a visit and see what gorgeous projects they've come up with as well. You will not be disappointed. So as you may have worked out, this month is our in colours. That's the theme for this month, and these are our new 20 to 22 in colours. So we have Bumblebee, Misty Moonlight, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade and Magenta Madness. So that's what my project involves, all of these in colours, and I'm going to show you my project right now. So I'll pop my inks over to the side, and this is my project here. So this is a box that I've made using Bumblebee for the base of the box. It's a square box, nothing new about the design of the box. I've made this box before. It's not about the box, it's actually about the in colours that I've used. And the designer series paper and the ribbon and the stamp set that I've used is a sneak peek of some products, Karen, coming in the new August to December mini catalogue, or what we used to call the autumn winter catalogue. So I've used the Bumblebee cardstock for the base and the backing for my sentiment here, and I've stamped my sentiment onto very vanilla cardstock using my Bumblebee ink and added a little Bumblebee enamel dot, and I've used a really pretty ribbon to finish it off. So this is a new 12 by 12 paper pack, Poinsettia Place, that's coming in the new catalogue. This is a new ribbon that's coming in the new catalogue, and it's from a combo pack of 2 reels of ribbon, Old Olive and Real Red, with this beautiful gold edging on both, and it's just such a pretty ribbon, and I quite like a narrow ribbon as well, because I feel I can sometimes do a little bit more with a narrow ribbon. So that's the ribbon that's on the outside of this box. The stamp set that I've used is from the Christmas Gleaming Cling stamp set. Used this sentiment here, as you can see, and I think I mentioned that I've used the 20 to 22 in colour enamel dot just to add a little bit of sparkle in the bottom corner here. So you might be wondering, okay, that's one in colour, what about the other 4? Well, all will be revealed just in a second. I'm going to put that ink to the side, and I'm just going to slide this ribbon off for a minute, and voila, here is box number 2, and you'll see that it's a reinforced lid on the box as well, and actually the design and the reinforced lid is the same for all my boxes. So out you come, Misty Moonlight box, and I made this box using Misty Moonlight cardstock, again all coordinating with very vanilla cardstock and the Misty Moonlight accessories on the top, as I did before. And this paper here on the lid is from the Brightly Gleaming 12 by 12 DSP pack, and it's full of pretty papers as well. I will actually show you the paper packs at the end of the video. And inside here, you guessed it, we've then got a Cinnamon Cider box. So I've used Cinnamon Cider cardstock for the base, and again for the matching bits and pieces on the top. This is the cinnamon cider ink pad here, and this paper is from the Magic in This Night 12x12 DSP pack. And yep, you've guessed it, inside here is my Just Jade box. Obviously they're getting slightly smaller as we go along, so here's my Just Jade ink for the comparison. Just Jade on the bottom, again matching with Just Jade bits and pieces on the top, and I've again used the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper for the lid on this box here. And you might be wondering, yes, where's Magenta Madness? And you would be right, that's the box that we're going to make together just now. So to give you the dimensions of the boxes, I'll do it from the largest to the smallest. So let me just pop the lids back on these just now, and I'll very quickly tell you. All the boxes are 2 inches deep, which is 5 centimetres. So the square measurements for each box then is that this box here is 4 inches square, which is about 10.2 centimetres. This box is 3 3/4 inches square, which is approximately 9.5 centimetres. This box here is 3 1/2 inches square, which is around 8.9 centimetres. And this box here is 3 1/4 inches square, which is about 8.3 centimetres, or as close as I can get the measurements to fit. So the last box that I'm making, you might have already worked out that they go down 1/4 inch in size with each box. So my last box, my Magenta Madness box, is going to measure 3 inches square, which is 7.6 centimetres. I'm going to make that box with you, and then I'll go over the measurements of the cardstock and the DSP that you need for making each of these boxes as well. The sentiment on the top, I've cut that out, the coloured cardstock, and then the very vanilla for stamping my sentiment, using the square dies, as you can see from the Stitched Shapes framelits. And this is the second and the third sizes up from smallest, and I've used these on every box. So although the boxes change in shape, I've used the same sizes for the sentiments. So I've already done a bit of preparation ahead of time, because it'll turn into quite a lengthy video otherwise. So as I said, this box will be 3.3 inches or 7.6 centimetres square. So in order to make this box, which is the smallest box, you'll need a piece of cardstock which measures a fraction less than 7 inches square. So take about a 1/16 of an inch off, and just very slightly smaller than 17.8 centimetres square, because I find it's easier just to take a little bit off the base and then my lid, and I've kind of kept the best until last, not only because Magenta Madness is my absolute favourite colour, and if I could get away with it I would make everything in Magenta Madness, but this is quite a special paper as well. This is our new rainbow glimmer paper. But as I say, I've done quite a bit of the prep ahead of time because it would turn into quite a lengthy video otherwise. So for every box you're scoring the base at 2 inches on all 4 sides, or 5 centimetres on all 4 sides. And for the lids, you're going to make 2 score lines on each side, one at 3/4 inch and 2 inches on all 4 sides, which is 1.9 centimetres and 5 centimetres on all 4 sides. So it's not a lot of measurements to remember, because you're doing the same for every box. You've just got 5 different sizes. That's the only difference. So I've already folded and burnished my base just to save a little bit of time, and I'm going to fold now and burnish my glimmer paper, but I'm going to do that very, very gently because I don't want to take any of that sparkle off, and I might just use my fingers actually, because it's quite a stiff, strong paper. It's pretty much card really, so it will hold its own shape. And because we're making it into a square lid, it's going to be joined together at every corner, if that makes sense. So it's all going to hold itself together. And then the last folds here. There we go. There we are. So the cutting that we're going to do is exactly the same for each box as well, on the base and on the lid. And as I often do with my boxes, we're going to make that windmill effect. So cutting into each square, taking that score line away as I cut, and wedging either side. So you've got the straight edge on the rectangle here, and you're wedging into the squares and then turning it round and doing the same again on each corner. So we just whiz through that. There we are, turn it round and keeping the straight edge on the rectangle and removing the score line onto the square. Wedging that out, and the last corner, straight edge on the rectangle, so we've removed that score line onto the square and just, oops, a little bit squinty, wedge into the square. I don't know if I managed to straighten that up a bit, but I think it needs to be a little bit straighter, Karen. That's just a little bit untidy. There we are. And then for the lid, as you can see, because we've done the 2 score lines on each side, we've got 4 sections in each corner, but essentially it's just the same square, but it's split into 4 sections. The only bit we want to keep is this one here, so we're going to remove this, this and this on every corner. So again, we're going to cut up that score line, well, keeping the straight edge on the rectangle as you would normally, removing the score line onto there, and then just cutting up the middle of that score line there, because we're taking all these pieces off anyway. So you're going past that first score line to the second score line, and then you're going to cut at a bit of an angle here. We're going to remove this outer piece here, so that's now those 3 sections removed. We're going to wedge slightly on this edge here, and we're going to wedge in on that square there. So I'll just do that again, and then I'll pause the video and finish the other 2 corners, and then I'll come back to you. So up, keeping the straight edge on the rectangle and removing the score line onto the bigger square. Straight up that score line there. You don't have to be too fussy because you're removing these 3 pieces anyway. Just a slight angle cut here, removing that outer piece there. Don't worry if you don't cut it straight, because this bit's getting tucked in anyway. A slight wedge here, and a wedge on this side, and a wedge on this side. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that off camera. I'll just pause it for now. I'll do the other 2 corners and then I'll come back to you, so I'll be back very soon. And I'm back, having done the rest of the cutting. So this is what we're left with. This is the base that we did on camera, and this is the lid that has the same windmill effect, but we've just removed these outer pieces, because when we put the lid together, the corners are going to tuck in and these parts are going to fold over like so. So we're going to put this together now. So we'll do the base first, and I'm going to get brave with my Stampin' Seal Plus, which has decided it is going to be my friend, but we'll see what happens on camera. And I just want to add a little bit down near the folds, and I've overlapped that a little bit, but I'm going to try and push that back a bit from the fold, because I've just gone over it a little bit too much, but I can take my eraser to that once I've put the box together. And a bit along here, and I'm just putting a little bit like a sort of T-shape down the flaps so that it holds them together inside the box and they don't catch on anything. And one last piece down near the fold here, and down here. So that went not too badly. We are getting to know each other. And I'm just folding over any bits that are overlapping like so. There we are. And then, as always, the straight edge of the rectangle to this folded edge here. We've got a little bit overlapping there. Just like so, to put the base together. There we are. Yeah, I'll just take my glue eraser to that once we're done, and that's the base put together. And I just like to take my paper folder along each of those corners to make sure that they're stuck down properly. There we are. And then I'm experimenting now with my Stampin' Seal Plus, because I want to put glue on all of these tabs on this side, but turn it over and add some glue here. So I think we'll stick with the Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm not sure how it will work with glimmer paper, but we're about to find out. I don't need to put an extra piece on the flaps in that sort of T shape, but I'm going to do it because this is glimmer paper, which might have more of a mind of its own, so I want the box to stay together. So I'm just going to put that extra little bit on. Oops. Down there and down there. And then I want to take it and turn it over, hence my silicone sheet, so it doesn't stick to my grid paper, and oops, pop a piece along. Come on, have you run out? We have run out. So let's grab the refill for that, if I can find it just very quickly. And I suppose it's as good a time as ever to let you see how you refill these. I didn't expect that to run out. So they're in a resealable bag if you want to reseal them. And it is just a case of opening the case, taking this part out, popping this part in, lining up the bits that need to go together on the inside, and then clip it all back together again, and there you are. Bob is your uncle. So we'll just pop that in the bin and just make sure that we've got it started. There we are. So back to what we were doing, putting a piece, oh gosh, it's caught on my box, but no matter, it's because I actually pressed too hard. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit there and stick that back down, and we can rectify that. I've got a really bad habit of leaning, oh I've done it again, look, leaning really too hard when I start my tape roller, and I think that comes from when I used to use fast fuse. That was my problem with fast fuse as well, and I still kind of do it. So we'll just ignore those little bits that have lifted, but I think we've more or less got away with it. It's going to be hidden underneath when I fold the lid down anyway, so I'm thinking we might have got away with that, she said. So again, straight edge to folded edge. Only on camera, it would only happen on camera, of course it would. But you can use liquid glue, or you can use tearing tape as well, whichever is your adhesive of choice, but I would use a strong one because this is quite strong, thick paper. So straight edge to folded edge, and then I'm just going to pop these edges in like so. Hopefully you can see that. I'll just try and angle it a little bit and just give it a press down. There we are. Oops, pop that extra bit over. Again, just press those down like so, and then the last one, I just want to take that edge back over, and yep, I think those little faux pas we've got away with. So I'm just going to give that an extra press, and then this is always the moment of truth when you put the lid onto the box. Do you know, it's catching only because it's glimmer paper and it's catching on the box. There we are. That wasn't happy to go, but it has now. And I've prepared my sentiment ahead of time. That's a nice snug fit as well on there. And I've done my stamping and my die cutting, so I'm just going to add some liquid glue onto here and stick that into the middle of here, just making sure it's nice and straight. There we are. And then I've not used any dimensionals or anything because we've already got a bit of dimension from the little enamel dots, and I'm just going to pop that on here and just give that glue time to take. Again, just make sure you use a strong adhesive because you're sticking it to glimmer paper. And then I'm going to grab my enamel dots and my take your pick with a little bit of putty at the end, grab my dot and pop it onto the corner here, like so. So hopefully this is going to fit inside here, like so. And that's all our boxes made. And the dimensions of the cardstock and the paper that you need to make this box, this is the 3 1/4 inch square box, or the 8.3 centimeters. You need a piece of cardstock which measures just a fraction less than 7 1/4 inches square, and for the DSP you want to cut that to 7 1/4. As I say, I prefer to make my base just slightly smaller than the lid. I just find that works better for me. Then the next box, this is a 3 1/2 inch square box, or 8.9 centimeters square. You want a piece of cardstock for the base which measures a fraction, just a 1/16 less than 7 1/2 inches square, and then you're cutting your DSP to 7 1/2 inches. And then this box here is 3 3/4 inches square, or 9.5 centimeters square, and you'll need a piece of cardstock which measures 7 3/4 inches square minus a 1/16, but you want to cut your DSP to the 7 3/4. And then the last box here, the biggest one, you want a piece of cardstock for the base which measures a 1/16 less than 8 inches square, so 7 15/16 each side, and you want to cut your designer series paper to the 8 inches. And I don't want my ribbon to be twisted. There we are, and that's all 5 boxes with all 5 in colours made and put together, and they fit perfectly inside each other. So I really quite like that, just as something a bit different, but I've used all the in colours, but they're just all hidden inside this one. So very quickly, just to show you the rainbow glimmer paper, and I'll try to keep it away from the lamps. This is absolutely beautiful, one of my favourites, so I'll definitely be buying more of that. The Magic in This Night designer series paper pack is this one here. So this is all the sheets that you get in this pack. So that's one side. I really like the monochrome sheets. And then if I flip it over, that's what you have on the other side. It's completely monochrome on the other side, so lots of Halloweeny patterns. And as I say, these are all coming in the new catalogue. And then we have the Poinsettia Place paper pack here as well. So just very quickly let you see all the papers in this pack. These are just gorgeous too. I really quite like this. Very Christmassy, but there's a couple that look quite autumnal as well. And then turning those over, that's the backs of them. all our different greens, but this is a soft suede, I think, as well. So another set of lovely papers that I plan to do a lot more with. And then last but not least, what have I done with it? I had it just a minute ago. The Brightly Gleaming, and I'll just grab it out of this packet. And this was in last year's autumn winter catalogue as well, and it sold out so quickly. I'm so pleased to see it back again this year. There we are, that's all the papers that are in here. Foiling on one side of the majority of these patterns, and then when I turn it over, you've got the foiling on the back side of this one. It's just beautiful, and again some more seasonal patterns. I really quite like stripes as well. So that's all the Brightly Gleaming papers. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry to have kept you. I've tried to be as quick as I can. I've really enjoyed making these. I had quite a lot of fun designing the boxes to all fit inside each other, and as I say, they all just go down in 1/4 inch increments. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to click on the links below to see all my colleagues' videos too, and I'll see you again very soon. Until then, take care. Bye bye.